I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to the women's final of the Saville Grand Prix here at the Saville Curling Center in Edmonton, Alberta. My name's Jim Nix, and I'm joined with my partner here, Shawn Joyce, and bring you this final game between Kerri Einarson and, see if I can get this name right, Seungyoun from Korea. Shawn, what can you tell us about how these guys got here?
Well, you know, I don't know that both teams finished up 3-1 through the round-robin play. I didn't have a chance to call any of their games for either team, but 3-1, and Einarson in particular, I was watching the line scores in the late draw that night. I was calling one of the other games. She needed a win to get to 3-1. If she loses her final draw, and she had to play she had to play Laws, and needed the win to stay in the playoff hunt. Got the win, actually got the win fairly handily. I think it was a 5-in game, and then beat her again here this afternoon in the semifinal to move on to the final. So
yeah,
she's on a bit of a roll.
Yeah, I did. I ended up doing most of Einarson's games this weekend, and for the most part, playing very well. And Joanne Courtney filling in at second stone has been no slouch, that's for sure.
That was the draw to the button to determine who's got last rock. Both of these teams 3-1 through the round robin, both winning 2 today, so they've got the same record. Had to draw to the button for last rock. It looks like Ha has won that draw to the button, so they'll have last rock here in the opening end.
That's interesting. Final 8 here. When I looked at it earlier, it had 3 Canadian teams, 2 Korean teams, a Japanese team, a Swedish team, and an Italian team. Certainly a worldwide event.
Yeah, and that's keeping in mind that this is happening all at the same time as the Pan-Continental event. So, you know, some of the top international teams weren't even available, and yet an incredible field here on the women's side. Good field on the men's side too, but you know, for my money, I would say the women was even a notch above. Very strong field.
Yeah, I would agree with that one too. So Kristen Karwacki to get things going here in the first end. Men's finals going on beside us. We'll give you a little update on that every now and then.
I haven't peeked over to see if they got started quicker. They didn't have to draw the button. Over there, Takumi Maeda had undefeated record through round-robin play, so he should have last rock there against Corey Dropcut in that final. We had to do the measured draw to the button here to determine who's got last rock in women's final.
Yeah, interesting to see Kerri Einarson throw the guard up early in this one. It seems like most of the games I've watched this and broadcast this weekend have been going to the house with this first shot in the first end.
Not able to get a piece of the center line, so you can tight ice this a little bit. If you happen to tick it on the way by, get 2 corners. That's not a bad result either. That was kind of I talked about this earlier in the broadcast for people that might have seen me and heard me talking about this earlier. That's one of the unintended consequences of the no-tick. So it's one thing to take away the intentional tick shot, which is, you know, fine that it needs to be done in the late ends, but it changes the way teams could call a shot like this, because before the no-tick zone, you might tight ice this and say, well, we're not going to go by everything. If we tick the guard, we get 2 corners. That's not a bad result. Now, if that guard's touching the center line, you can't do that. You have to take a little more ice.
Yeah,
Make sure you don't touch it.
Yeah. Good draw there for Sujin Kim. Just a little bit buried. No problem for Kerri Einarson to hit it. She'll ask Karwacki to remove that stone. Einarson offers second thumping, really, of Caitlin Law's team. She played them the last game of the round robin and first game here, and really dominated them by the scoreboard for sure. Just really tight, and will rub the guard. Didn't have a lot of weight on that.
Nope. That's that little rub where you don't really get the guard very far out of the way either.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of painful ones.
Yeah.
Einarson without hammer here in the first, not quite so bad, but
Kim will look to get this half around though, and then you'd have that Christmas tree effect that we talk about where she can't get to the nose of either of the red stones.
Really solid delivery. See the technique coming out of all the teams around the world now are so good. The technical ability is there all the time, and they've learned the game a lot better in the last number of years. So just a real tough task to knock off some of these teams now from European countries and Asian countries. It's a good looking shot here. Did just exactly what you said, Shawn.
Yeah, can't get to the nose of either one of those, so she's looking at the run back.
Joanne Courtney throwing second stones this weekend, and I understand next weekend as well in the Grand Slam.
I believe that's what I heard as well. Yeah.
I shouldn't say weekend. I think it starts on Tuesday. So it's not
the 5th, so yeah, that would be Tuesday.
Very nice shot there, though.
Shannon Burchard, who is the normal second for the team, has been out for a little while. She's got a knee injury. I don't know if she's had, somebody in the chat might know, I don't know if she's actually had surgery on the knee or if she's just dealing with some pain. But at any rate, not ready to return yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I did read somewhere the other day where she had attempted to throw in like recently in the last week or so and just realized that, no, I'm not ready yet. Going to take at least a couple more weeks. It doesn't tell us how she injured or what she injured, but still. Here's the hit and roll for Ha. And she's going to roll a little too far, but did remove the shot stone. Second stone, Tae Yang. So next shot for out turn hit for Joanne will be a little easier than the last one.
Yeah, she's got some air between the rock and the guard. Try to get to the inside and roll under.
Second nose hit. Did see a podcast the other day where Joanne was on and she had mentioned that she never threw a single curling stone last year, and she didn't really, and she had so much on the go that she wasn't, she didn't really have a chance to miss it as much as that, but she was very surprised when it got to the end of the year and she was thinking, well, I never threw a single rock all year, so she's anxious to do a little bit now.
Go that long without throwing a rock and probably nothing hurts.
Yeah. This looks pretty close to getting the roll. She get it? Not quite. For a bumper weight, board weight. For lefty, Val Sweeting.
Still has just that little bit of air, which means if she can get to the inside, she can roll under, but they haven't been getting a lot of curl on this outside so far.
No, and they're working hard just to get this one to the nose. She get over there. Looks like a nose hit. It is biting, so will need to be removed. It's be an interesting call here because if you hit this one on the nose,
I was
around it. Yeah,
you said it needs to be removed, and I'm wondering because if you remove this, Kerri's coming around. Eyeing up the double, she could draw around herself.
Yeah. Still looking for a blank end probably, but it might not be a good idea to change it up here though and go around that. looking for the double. Yang. Have to work to hold this. It's close.
Might get it the straight back way.
Yeah.
Not
shot.
the way they had. Yeah, not the way they had in mind. They would have liked to go over the top and get the shooter away from that center line, but
yeah, exactly. Certainly left a nice guard for Einarson. Yang. Have to work to hold this. It's close.
Might get it the straight back way.
Yeah.
Not
shot.
the way they had. Yeah, not the way they had it.
So the out turn, or in turn for Val, I guess. Come around.
You always have to throw a left-hander in there just to mess us up, eh?
Yeah. This looks like it's going to be good. Pretty nice effort. Good stay above the tee line.
Yeah.
Looking to maybe play the run back again. This time,
Yeah.
it knows it.
They're talking about the options. The run back was the first one she looked at. You can probably get there with enough weight to move it, but you can't move it very far, I don't think, if you're going to stay on the nose. And then you're not going to have a lot of room to score two, but it might look like a safer shot than the run. It's a long run.
Yeah. Yeah, she could just move this a little bit and she would be shot rock, but like you say, it might be a little tough to get that second shot.
Well, she can't throw enough weight, I don't think, to move it real big, because then she pops out into the open. She's got to get close to the face here.
Yeah. Gonna have to really go hard to get this by the guard. Looks like she's going to be close.
Once they're by, they'll sweep for extra curl. She's got enough weight to almost pass it through, and she gets the big roll. That actually is not a bad result.
Yeah, I would
it's
agree.
better there than staying, just tap it back and stay full 4-foot. Kerri tries to roll underneath the guard. Now it puts Kerri in a tough spot. Like, if you ignore that stone, because it is shot rock, you could end up giving up the deuce. When you hit it, Seungyoun is going to go around the center guard and see if she can't get her deuce. And I
would think that's right. I mean,
don't think you could do much about it. You're going to have to give her that chance.
Yeah, I would agree, yeah.
She's still got to make it.
Kerri Einarson with her first in the first. Having hammer here. Wacky trying to keep that straight. And they will hold it.
That was important to stay in the house there. If you roll out, Ha actually could go hit that biter at the back of the 12-foot. The blank would be back in play.
Yeah, especially because if she could hit and stay back there, then Kerri would have not much choice in the first end but to go ahead and hit it.
Well, exactly, yeah.
Looks like Ha's third at least would like her to go around here.
Oh yeah, she's got to come around. She's not getting a blank out of this, so you got to try to score your two.
Yeah, and considering that she just, assuming it was her that threw their last rock draw, just put one at the top of the button, basically, should have a really good draw weight.
Yeah. Now the only thing is, I'm trying to remember. We saw that draw to the button. Which side of the sheet was she playing on?
Yeah, I was thinking that too, and I feel like it might have been the out turn. It just, I'm trying to picture in my mind, but I can't really quite get it.
Okay, if she threw the out turn for the draw to the button, then that would be this side of the sheet, the in turn going away. So this would be her side of the sheet. She should know the speed here. They're probably pretty good on, pretty close to the same on both sides of the sheet. It's just psychologically, if you could throw the same path. a little more confidence there.
So it's on its way. Skips Seungyoun Ha.
Rushers have been on it early and have not left.
Third coming out to help.
Needs full 8 foot to be shot.
And they're dragging that a long way. Some great sweeping by the green squad. I didn't really think it was getting there, Shawn. I thought it was going to be short.
And it's in a great spot where it is. I mean, it's. You look at 2 shots ago when the Einarson team came in, they were deep enough that Ha was able to make a play at it. That stone's high enough in the rings. It's real tough to make a play at that around the guard. For Kerri to come behind it somewhere, tough to be shot rock and be buried.
Yeah, that's perfect.
You couldn't have carried that down the ice and put it in a better spot.
No, I don't think so. I think it, it's just that, like you just described it perfectly. It's very difficult for Einarson to put this in a spot where it can't be removed. Possible, probably. There's probably enough room there to make at least a shot really, really tough, but Kerri's shot's also really, really tough.
Yeah, it is. And by the time she gets buried, she's probably just hanging onto the back of the 4 foot. Well, you could throw enough weight to move it 6 inches, and that might be enough to get you your 2.
Exactly, yeah.
She's going to bury this. She's got to be really tight to that stone at the top of the 8 foot.
Yeah, she's coming by with a little bit of room. Well, not a bad effort for the first end, but definitely a possibility for Ha to get 2 here.
Yeah. They are eyeing up what happens if they jam it on the yellow, but if they jam it on the yellow, they're still shot rock at the top of the 8 foot for sure. The question is, how far will their shooter roll?
Yeah, I'm thinking they would only be throwing enough weight that if they were ever to jam it, their shooter would only go about a foot or so to the left or right, depending which screen we're looking at.
Yeah, I think if you're hitting it thin enough to jam, you're probably going to roll a little further than that because you got to have enough weight to get it to the back one. You can get to this thick enough that it's not a problem.
Yeah.
They've left her, 3/4 plus. Now the only problem here, or part of the problem here for Ha, we've seen a number of quiet hit attempts on this side, and even this last draw by Kerri Einarson, and nothing has seemed to move a whole lot on this side of the sheet so far. She's got to get
true, yeah,
as close as like half a rock. She probably jams it and rolls too far.
Yeah, it's going to all depend on weight here and what she ends up throwing. My mind, I'm thinking just back 8, but that's easy to say. Sometimes back 8 was a little more than that in the first end. So it's on its way. A little out-turn tap out here for 2 for Ha.
She wasn't wide.
No. I don't think it's going to get by or not. They got to get by the red one. Really close. Really, really close. And just touches the front. And Einarson will come by end up with a steal of 1 here in the first end, taking 1-0 lead. We'll talk about that one after the break.
Gripper first.
Don't forget the broom.
Yep, you got it. Yellow.
Come on up. Well, what do you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got 1.
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
So Kerri Einarson with a 1-0 lead. Shawn, a little bit of a missed opportunity there for the Korean squad.
Yeah, certainly had the chance for 2 there, and I can't help but wonder as she was making her way down to the hack. I was talking about how that side we hadn't seen anything move yet. Everything had run a little straight, and it's one thing for an announcer to be thinking that way, but if you get into the hacks thinking about that, it's real easy to decide, well, I'm not going to be wide. And I think she might have been a little bit tight on that throw. Certainly they jumped it right out of her hand. Not able to get by her own stone at the top of the 8-foot, and turns into a steal of one where she had a glorious opportunity to score 2. Made a great shot on her first one to set it up too.
Yeah, really good shot. Kerri Einarson did about as good as she could do on her shot, but still had an opportunity for Ha to pick up a deuce, but it's 1 for Einarson, and Ha will try to get her 2 in this end. Center guard went up, corner guard went up, and Kerri Einarson going to play the come around on the intern side with Kristen Karwacki. This one's looking pretty good. Shot for Karwacki. Will now opt to go around the corner. We've seen both defenses here, or offenses, I guess in a way it could go either way, but we've seen them going around the corner, and we've seen them coming around the center and cornering the rock that's in the house.
There might be some questions on this coming from the other end. I think they're going to switch to what you're just talking about, Jim. They're going to play the corner on the stone in the house. Corner freeze.
Yeah, I don't know for sure which is better. It's seen them go both ways, and so lead Seungyoun Kim with her second stone here in the second end. Playing a corner freeze on the yellow. Might bounce off a little bit.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. Yeah, just that little bit strong, and it comes down, bounces out into the open, leaves room for, this would be Joanne Courtney to try to hit and roll to the inside, flop on top of her own.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. A few inches changes it from a potential offensive move to some defense on the next shot. Nice weight on this one. Val Sweeting will try to make it move a little bit. And it will, but just a little bit. Probably not quite enough. Double definitely there for Ha.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the shot. You make the double. Yeah, you're probably going to roll a little bit into the open. It might leave the roll underneath, but even if they make the roll underneath now, it'll be nothing better than 12-foot. And if you want to play offense after that, you'll be in a good spot. Plenty of scoring area.
Second stone, Tae Yang. It's got to curl a little bit. And a nice double for Tae Yang. Courtney will be asked to make that hit and roll.
Yeah, she's got room to make the hit and roll under cover now, but if she's buried, she's still only just full 12, and Seungyoun Ha might decide to go around the corner guard after that.
Yeah, this one's got to do some curling, though. Got it there.
Makes the nose hit, but stays out in the open. It's a dangerous stone to leave in the 12-foot. So she's going to play the hit and roll, try to get all the way across under the red corner guard.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's not a route you could just say, well, we'll ignore that.
Yeah,
Not
it's
in the game anyway. Trying to get it to move a little bit. And it might move just a little bit.
That's an interesting result, though, because it's just biting the top 12. I'm not sure that Einarson could get into the rings off this.
No, I'm not sure either. I think probably may not even be trying to. She sits right there. It's not a bad spot. Val Sweeting. Val's out turn. So Einarson has it set up pretty good right now.
Well, unless Ha gets in there first, because those yellows are overlapped. I might have, if you knew it was staying out of the rings, you might have wanted to leave it just open where you'd be able to use it. It's tough to run it back now.
Well, absolutely. Almost impossible to run anything back now. So.
Well, I mean, you could run that back on a bit of an angle if she doesn't get this dead buried. I mean, if she's dead buried behind the center line one, you might have the angle run, depending how deep it is.
Yeah.
And that's something for the hot team to watch here. You don't want to leave this, say full 8-foot dead behind the center line guard, because you'd leave the short angle run. You'll need to bring it deeper than that or get it to overbury that a little bit. This has got a lot of room.
It does.
And a lot of rotation. It's curling, though.
It's going to be real good.
That's real nice. She got it half underneath the tighter stone. I don't think she can see enough of it to run it now.
No, very nice shot from Haileen Kim.
She's looking at making some kind of play on that tight yellow.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what this would be.
Maybe thinking they can tap to the corner freeze on the other side of the red.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
She was only signaling like back 4-foot weight, and you're going to be a bit of an angle tap. That's not going to move the. It's not going to move the redstone very far. Right now, it's not going to move the Yellowstone because it hasn't got a piece of it yet. This is going to have to curl.
I almost did what you were suggesting, Shawn. Just kind of didn't quite get enough of it to get to the corner of the red, but
That's a good angle on the yellow, though.
It is.
Stop just in time. If it rolls a couple more inches, Hawk can get to the inside of it and pass it by that red stone. Right now, it's a tough stone for Ha to remove, and it's a dangerous one to leave there.
Yeah, tough call here.
Tough shot to make, but if you could get to the edge of the red stone and kind of play a split, so push the red in behind that yellow and roll your shooter into the open, because then it becomes a difficult stone for you know, if Anderson's got an open one, she probably has to play it. You could certainly make the run a little bit more difficult too, but I mean, that's a really tough shot. Trying to split a rock you can't really see from the hacks. It's behind cover. I think she's trying to get just to the face of it and freeze. No, it looks like they're trying to come around it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I like this. You get around it, that angle run, yellow onto red, just becomes a yellow onto a red double.
Yeah. It's going to be a little bit short, I think, but it might get to where you're suggesting that might be possible.
Well, you could go directly after the red. You could also play yellow onto red, and it's just about, I mean, if you make the yellow onto red, it's hard to miss the second red.
Yeah. Anderson's going to try to play the back one.
Yep. She's got it here. She can get to the inside and roll under cover here.
Yeah. First stone for Kerri Einarson. This one's got a chance. Joanne Courtney trying to move it over. Pretty close to nose, I think.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Oh, it's going to be interesting to see where Ha decides to go with this.
Yeah, well, and that angle run on the yellow is still there in the 12-foot too, so she's got to be careful. She can't really roll to the outside. She rolls to the outside, that yellow onto red. If you stuff it, it's shot rock.
Yeah, and behind the guard.
Yep. You got no room to roll to the inside because your stone's right there.
What happens if you hit it right on the nose? Just that Anderson could play the double, I guess. And
she could probably get inside enough to make the double. Yeah, you're right. Can you get to the inside yourself? And I'm just spitballing ideas here. Can you get to the inside of the yellow, come across and move that red over?
Yeah, I think that's a great shot, actually. If it's, if you can make it right.
I'm just looking at where the guards are. Yeah, if you get there, she's not going to have much left of the inside of the stone you're about to throw. You got to move that second one over a little bit so you don't leave a double.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say you gotta bump it a fair bit.
Yeah, I'd almost like to move it so that it's half buried on the other side of the yellow in the 12-foot, just so she can't run the yellow into the pocket you're going to make with the two reds.
I think with the ice she has, though, I can't see her getting over enough to the red with enough weight to move it very far, Shawn.
Yeah, hard to know. It really depends on the line she gets coming in. She only needs to move it about a foot.
Yeah. So it's on its way.
She's in the ballpark. I'd be letting this curl.
Like a nose.
Yeah, I don't think they were playing the same shot we were. She's left the double.
I wonder that too. They seem to be.
It looked like they were trying to play the roll away.
Yeah. Hard to tell. Their sweeping motions are not quite the same as some, and it's a little bit hard to tell sometimes if they're trying to hold it straight or if they're trying to make it curl. So, and they usually have both people sweeping, which we don't see a lot anymore. So Kerri Einarson will attempt to remove both reds here. Fairly easy double, I think, if that's fair to say. Just got to be careful you don't flirt with that top guard. It's on its way.
If she hits the one behind the broom just a little bit before the other one, she can actually spin up in behind cover too. This is a little thick. She's not going to get the second one.
Yeah, needed to curl a little bit more. So Ha has a little easier effort this time for her two in the second end. Just has to hit full 8 foot. Most of the time a little easier. Some days it's the hardest thing in the world to do, it seems. A lot of cleaning going on, so. Seungyoun Ha. One good thing about her last name is it's pronounced exactly the same in English as it is in Korean, from what I can gather. So I looked it up just to see if there were any differences in what it looks like, and sure enough, it just said Ha.
I think Kim and Yang are pretty easy to pronounce too. It's
Yeah.
first names that I apologize in advance for any that I mispronounce.
Yeah, some of them are tough for sure, but
We do the best we can.
yeah,
It's nice when you can get to a facility, not even just for the foreign names, even with some of the Canadian names. It's nice if you can be there and have a chance to meet with the players and confirm with them how these things are supposed to be pronounced before you go on the air. But
well, even Kerri's last name is pronounced Einarson, and we
Yes.
sometimes get a little guilty. It's amazing it's going with Einarson, so we'll try to be better.
that one I did know. But I've met people with the same last name, spelt the same way, and they pronounced it Einarson. So it's
Oh, yeah,
and I don't know whether that's
it's just looking a little bit heavy.
needs to stop full 8.
I don't think it's going to, and it didn't.
Nope.
So a serious missed opportunity that in for Ha. That was a pretty mundane shot. So a little bit heavy, and we will have a tie game after 2 ends here at the Saville Grand Prix Women's Final. Going back for end number 3. Kerri Einarson retains her hammer for this end. First time, I guess, with hammer.
Yeah, it's her first chance at the hammer. She got the steal in the first end. The force in the second. Everything's gone her way so far.
So Seungyoun Kim being asked to throw the first one. Going out front, I think. Yeah. Girls are working hard. They'd like to get a little bit of that center line. Not quite.
No, they're not going to.
Interesting. Kerri going to the open side of the sheet.
And right in.
Yeah, I'm right in. Yeah, I know. It's, haven't seen that particular approach much, if at all, this week. So,
Well, to me, that tells me that she's got the blank in her mind already here in this third end. You see so many of these top teams are very conscious of even versus odd end right from the start of the game. Just going to play this in. Hopefully they can convince Ha to start playing hits at this right away, and they're going to come up a little short. So that ends that discussion right away.
yeah. It changes things up from the original plan B now. Kim will be asked to play the intern come around here. Looks like she's going right in with this one.
Yeah. That picked.
Yeah, definitely grabbed something there.
Made a hard turn. Does put the stone on the center line. So they do have one guard in the no-tick zone.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's a little different approach to getting it to the center line.
Yeah.
So Karwacki now playing the out turn come around. Reaper's not doing much on this one yet.
Don't need to be too deep here. You just need to be buried. Cut off the draw path from both sides. That's
Yeah,
really
well
good.
done. Yeah, real good, Jeff.
All Yang can really do here is try to come and sit on the corner of that stone. It's a little thing. It's something that maybe some of the viewers don't even think about. But if you've got last rock in this end, you want that up a little bit higher. If they make this corner freeze, there's still all of the 8 foot left to score in. If it had been the hot team trying to come around, you'd like that still into 4 foot. Then when they make this freeze, there's not a lot of room left to score a second point.
Yeah.
It's a subtle difference, but it really matters. Either way, you wanted it dead buried, and they've got it. The freeze attempt's a little short, but the angle from the red to the yellow is good when the guard disappears.
Yeah. Anderson just trying to decide. She looks like she's going to play the center one. Just got to decide which way she wants to go.
Yeah, she was talking there about trying to play the come around on the corner guard, but it's just debatable whether there's room by the time you're by the center guard to get by the yellow. So she's going to peel it. Trying to, I think from that gesture, trying to peel it over the top of the yellow. So thin, very thin on the first red one.
Yeah, you'd rather not spin this one on, which could easily happen if you hit it onto half that yellow stone. Be close to the yellow one.
Yeah. And in.
And out.
And through.
Yeah. So that worked out fine, but you could see how it was a good demonstration how you could have ended up in a bad spot for you, but throwing that kind of weight, there's a better than average chance of it not hanging around.
Didn't miss that yellow in the 8 foot by much, just about touched the back end of it.
Yeah.
It's a short run for Ha to play the red stone and the 12 foot onto the yellow. The problem is you can't really separate your rocks very well at that point, and Kerri Einarson will have the chance to play the double, and she probably gets back to a blank pretty easily. They don't like the corner guard, even though it's their own stone.
Yeah, it's an interesting decision for sure.
She's going to look to hit and roll back to a center guard.
Curl a bit if it's going to do that.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they switched the sweep to the straight side on that. Hits it right on the nose. That does not help her at all. Really doesn't change things.
No, it doesn't change anything at all. Basically the exact same spot, just 1 foot shorter. Width of the rock. Just under a foot, I guess. Kerri looking to play somewhere around a bumper weight. You initially said, but kind of bumper weight, and then whatever their symbol is for maybe a control weight.
Yeah, it's probably easier to just play the straight draw. That's what they're talking about now.
Talking now, yeah.
You make the straight draw around the corner, even if Ha makes the little short run, she's probably not shot rock.
So Courtney with her second one here. And an out-turn draw. Kerri looking at whether or not she need to get a rub off of one of those.
Yeah, she might have wished she did. It ends up behind the tee line. Mostly open.
Yeah, good opportunity here if you can make the hit and roll. You'd probably like to roll a little bit out of the line of the double raise or the raise takeout.
Yeah, if you could roll a split center at the back of the forefoot, you're probably in a pretty good spot.
So Eileen Kim, who probably throws more rotation than anybody. Just gotta move a little bit to stay. Kerri going hard. Can't quite get it out. Not really a problem rock for her, though. Looks like she's going to hit it, though. Board weight. It's feeling hard.
Yeah, it is. And this is the spot in the first end where they weren't getting any curl.
No, I don't think this is going to make contact. Oh. It's a bit of a big miss here. Gives Shawn a chance to play the raise takeout now. She won't have anything really good when she's done, but she'll at least be out of most trouble and sitting 3. Trying to figure out exactly where to hit it.
Yeah, you know that Kerri Einarson's probably going to have to switch to offense after this, so you want to be careful not to leave these reds overlapped.
Yeah.
And I think the reason she's looking at it, so if you hit it on the nose, shooter stays right there, and the red stone, when it comes back and kills the yellow, will pop out to the open side. Probably makes the hit and roll behind the corner guard as tough as possible. You could hit and roll out to the corner off the one you're about to throw, but you'd be well up to the top of the 12 foot. You probably wouldn't even be shot rock. So I think that's what they're looking at here, the nose hit.
Yeah, I think that's pretty near the best opportunity for spreading these a little bit.
Yeah, it looks natural to hit it the other way, but if you jam the stone in and leave it for shot rock, Kerri could roll off of it and get shot behind cover.
Work out really well, I think.
Yeah.
That's about all you could do there.
Yeah, it is. She could play the double, even try to roll into the rings, but that stone at the back will be shot rock.
Well, Sweeting with her final rock of the third end here. Out-turn double. Looks like she's going to make this, and she might roll on the rings, as you said. And it does. So it looks like Hawes not going to leave it there. She's going to go after it, try to hit and just roll back onto the rings. Could go around it, I suppose, but that would be pretty risky.
A little bit, yeah. She didn't seem overly certain where she wanted to roll here, and I understand that. I mean, if you roll dead in front of your red, there's always the potential, and I don't think she would do it in the third end, but in the fourth end for sure she would. She could just come right around the stone you're about to throw and freeze to that stone in the back and try to get her deuce.
Yeah. paw. The outturn here. This signal that it might be a little up. I'd have to hope it is. This one's going hard. Will they hold this enough to get it on the rings? No, they will not. Kerri Einarson now is going to play the outturn hit. She really doesn't want to roll out here.
Nope. Nope. But if she could stay right there, I mean, she started this end. It kind of looked like she was playing for the blank. If she can hit and stay right there, she should have that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Saw Val's over curl here, but she didn't throw a lot of weight, and it'd be her in turn versus the out turn, which everybody tells us that the in turns are going to curl more than the out turns.
Yeah.
As a rule. Only true in my case. So Einarson's first rock of the third end.
Well, this is more like what we saw in the first end, where they were having trouble getting these rocks to curl, trying to help it over.
And I think she's going to be okay. And she is.
Yeah, it rolls a few inches to the outside, which is actually probably better, because now I don't think Ha could even try to roll across underneath the reds. She'd probably be out of the back of the rings by the time she got behind them.
Yeah, I think you're right. It would be...
If she's going to try to make it, you saw Hyrin Kim, the third. You saw her gesture, hand to the top of the head, meaning if they're going to play this roll, they've got to throw some weight, because it's a very flat roll. If she's going to stay in the rings and get in behind, she's got to roll flat. She can't roll steep. She'll be out the back.
Yeah,
They're going to give it a go.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess why not? I mean, it's probably a blank if you don't try this. So if you roll too far and you roll out, oh well, it's still a blank.
It's going to roll a bit anyway. Not going to go quite far enough. Pretty good try, though. So Kerri Einarson now has a chance to just blank this end, which would be perfect in her books. Blank the third end and try to do some magic in the fourth end.
Little in out on the release. This is still backing up.
I think she's going to get a piece. Yeah, I noticed the same thing when she just came down.
Just like half.
Yeah. So Kerri Einarson does blank the third end. We'll retain hammer going into the fourth end. We'll be back in just a minute.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
Join us this March for the House of Hearts Charity Bonspiel in Duluth, Minnesota. Help raise funds for Project Joy, who provides meals for hungry kids in our community. Every donation helps to ensure no child goes hungry. Join us and make a difference. Together, we...
So, as we prepare for the fourth end, as expected, Shawn, this is a pretty tight game, and you wouldn't have expected anything less.
No, you didn't expect anything less, but this, so far, everything has gone exactly the way Kerri Einarson would have liked. She didn't win the draw to the button, so she had the hammer against her in the first end. She gets the steal in one. She gets the force, a little bit fortunate. There was a chance for two in both of those ends, although difficult certainly in the first. Gets the force in the second, gets the blank in the third, and now she's exactly where she wants to be. She's got the hammer in the even end of a tie game.
Perfect. Karwacki plays a come around, doesn't really curl enough for her, and probably a little tiny bit heavy for that shot. Seungyoun Kim. A little intern take out roll. Looks like it's going to be good. Just roll a little bit too far, but pretty darn good. Just above the tee line. Milwaukee throwing the out-turn freeze. Just about the identical rate she just threw would be perfect.
Yeah, you could throw the inside, you could throw the intern, get to it that way as well, but it does look more natural with the little corner sticking out on the out-turn side. Now this one is really going hard. And that stone up front is still in the no-tick zone.
Fortunately, it still is.
Yeah, it doesn't move it off the center line, so that is legal. Does leave a double guard on the shot stone, though.
Just really underthrew that one.
Yeah.
So, we'll now ask Tae Yang to play the intern come around. Or even top 8 would be pretty good on this, I think.
Yeah, we're already at the point in the end where Kerri Einarson might have to look at damage control. Time to bail a bit.
Very nicely done.
I think she's asking, do they want to play the double peel or do they want to play that red run back? And you could get all three of the reds here if you hit this just off the nose.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you called one of these. You called the quad this morning when we were doing the game. That didn't look that much different than this.
Yeah.
By Tyler Tardy and made it perfect. Joanne Courtney now with a chance to maybe make the triple. Gonna curl too much.
Yeah, so they got into plan B, try to double peel. Actually, that ended up with a really good result because they get the two off the center line and roll the shooter over for a corner guard, which they might be able to use later. They still got to deal with everything in the middle.
Yeah, but you're right. They got more out of that than they probably could have gotten out of it for sure.
Hall looking for the guard, but you can't really guard both of those stones with one.
No, you probably got to guard the high one.
Yeah, because the high one's the one where they could roll behind the corner.
Yeah. See where she has her broom. That's where they want to be. Gonna have to work this though to get it over there. A little rub off the yellow would help.
Probably just enough.
Yeah, the double would not be there right now, I don't think. And
you might be able to get to it with like hack weight, but I don't know that that's a shot she wants to try right now.
no, and she indicated she's going to play just a hit and roll into the 8-foot on the right-hand side of the sheet as we look at it. Which would pretty much force Haw to play a hit on it and open up to win the back. So
yeah,
looks out pretty good. Got to make this one though. It's going to be hard to press to get this one by the guard as well.
Yeah, she's not heavy here. The call, that little hip bump is usually bumper weight, and that does not have bumper weight on it.
No, a couple of misses in a row by Joanne Courtney. A little bit unusual for sure. Definitely underthrown. We'll look to put the guard back here. Just having that extra yellow one in the house, though, sometimes complicates things a little bit.
It does, yeah. I don't think there's much you can do about it, though, right now. If she goes over there to hit it, and, there's a case to be made for that, but there's a hit and roll off the red stone at the top of the 8-foot behind a staggered corner guard, and that would set up the chance for 2 for Kerri. So I think you have to guard this right now and hope that you don't give up the chance for a double later on.
Yeah, that would be great. Eileen Kim. Well, they got to work this one. They get it over, and they end up in a pretty good line with the back one, so just very, very, very long.
It is really long. You can just see the shadow of it on the overhead shot.
So if Einarson could hit this one and just roll it over towards the other yellow one, that would certainly indicate to me that Haw has to think about playing a hit there.
Yeah, if you're sitting second and third, she's probably got a hit second shot. Now, we can complicate this a little bit. If Val just happens to hit and roll in front of the redstone, now what do you do? If you're guarding for your life, and there is an angle running on the yellow that would be for 3.
Yeah. This one's going a little bit hard too, but it's going to roll a little, but not a lot. It's more or less what you were talking about.
Yeah, it rolled far enough, though, that she can play the hit and roll back under cover.
Yeah.
If that stays directly in front of the red, I don't know what Seungyoun does here.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. I think you're right. I think you're going to end up guarding in that case. And
yeah, guarding and hoping. That's probably the best way to phrase it, because even if you guard through the rest of the end, Kerri's got that yellow corner guard that she could run in with the last one. And it's not at a bad angle either. Probably hitting about 2/3 on that stone to make contact. That's a pretty comfortable piece for a lot of these world level players.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to put you back around the corner and make a tough one.
So Kim being asked to throw the little hit and roll. Sometimes a little bit difficult when you're going across the face of a rock like this. It's pretty good. Well, right. Yeah, we're all pretty good. I think there's a hole there, but I don't think it's big enough to play. So Kerri will ask Val to throw Val's in turn and a little hit and roll. A pretty good shot by the Korean third there.
Yeah, there's room to get to the inside here, but with the weight she's got to throw, I don't know if she can get all the way under cover.
Fever's going already.
Yeah, they called the brush on pretty much right out of her hand. Boy, this is really going. They got to get by the stone on the top of the 8-foot. Oh, great brushing to get by. I wasn't sure she could roll behind. She actually rolls past the two in the center line area, corner of the 4-foot behind the corner guards.
Yeah, and stayed for shot rocked even. So, yeah. So I say it's a game of millimeters sometimes. And it turns into a great shot. 2 more millimeters of curl, and it would have been disaster. So, but it was a good shot for Val Sweeting. As Ha looks at this hole, calls a timeout.
Yeah, going to call the timeout here in the 4th end. I'm not sure what hole she's looking at. Like, there might be a hole on the intern.
Yeah.
It's a tight port, and I'm not sure what you're getting out of that. I mean, you could get to your own stone and tap it, I guess, but
Yeah.
you can do that on the out turn a lot easier.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't think you can even think about going through the hole. It's just disaster waiting to happen. I think not only do you not get through, more than likely you also open it up a little bit more than you want. Right now, you at least have a decent number 2. I don't think you want to open that up for Kerri to sit 3. I have to believe when it's all said and done, they're going to play kind of the out-turn tap, Shawn. I think that would be the...
Yeah, I think so. You're playing it like an out-turn come around. You just get to the close to the face of the red. You're going to tap it towards the yellow anyway, and you just need T-line weight.
Yeah.
You know, if you were trying to draw around that guard, you'd expect to be able to get dead buried with draw weight. So you should be able to get close enough to the nose to tap that back for shot.
Yeah.
You can tap it to corner frozen on the yellow is not bad either.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, they're going to play the shot that we've been talking about, just a little bit of a T-line draw tap.
Yeah, you don't want to overthrow it. I mean, if you corner freeze on the red on this one, at least you've still got a shot on the next one. You know, line the 2 reds up to that yellow.
Yeah.
Kerri still has to throw something towards the middle. She can't really go to the corner. There's no scoring area over there.
So 2 rocks each to come here in the 4th end. Been a good battle so far. Now with a chance to maybe set up a steal. Going hard early here.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's got a lot of line early.
No, it doesn't have a little bit of weight either.
She was tight on one earlier, and it looks like she might have been tight and light here. That is all kinds of trouble because now Kerri's got the chance to hit and sit 3. The question is, how far do you want to roll? Half under, maybe? Protect the back one, too?
Yep. And leave Ha not really with a lot of good escape options here.
No, that's true.
Yeah, I definitely couldn't afford to make contact with that guard for Ha, but so Kerri Einarson now going to remove the red. And we think she wants to roll probably a rock or so to the left.
Yeah, needs to get a sliver underneath on the broom. She's going to try to roll broom side. Got to get a piece underneath so she doesn't leave a double or perhaps even a triple. I think any roll to that side, I don't think the triple's there.
It's on its way. Starting indicating a little up, maybe. Not really trying to make that roll, I don't think. Yeah. Perfect.
That's pretty good.
There might be a double there for Ha, but
it's not easy.
No,
it's an over-the-top double if it's there, and it to make a pass at it, you're risking rolling out. So if you miss the second stone, it's probably a draw for 3.
Yeah, I agree.
I think she's looking now at the really thin double across the house. Might be a little bit easier, but there's a lot of distance between those two rocks.
Yeah, there is.
Which means you've got to be very precise on the first one.
Yeah, really tough situation for the Ha team here. Just, if you're going to look at that one across the house, I don't think you're getting the back one. If you're going to deliberately play for the long double, cross house double, then you're going to miss that one at the back of the 4.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's the triple's not there. The angles aren't right to get all 3.
And there's not a lot of room. You've got to hit just about everything you can see to make the double on the other 2 rocks.
Well, and that's the scary thing. You might have to see a hit more than you can see. It's hard to say for sure. I think she can see enough. It's always hard to be sure with an overhead camera angle. It distorts the view a little bit. You have to defer to the players on the ice. They seem to think the cross house is easier, so I tend to defer to the players on the ice.
Big shot for Seungyoun Ha here. She's looking at multiple score if she doesn't make something really good here. Either way, she's looking at a multiple score.
You hit half a rock on the first one. I'm not sure you catch either of the 2. It might be over the top on the first double, and your shooter probably goes all the way across over the top of the back one.
This one's got to curl a bunch.
Not for the thin double, it doesn't.
No.
Actually, almost over curled. Caught the front end of the second stone.
So overall, probably be pretty happy with that, I would think. Best case scenario they were ever going to have there was Kerri was going to have a shot for 2. Just a matter of which way it was going to happen, so.
They were fortunate. They were sweeping that to curl, and if that curls a hair more, she goes over the top on the double, and it's a draw for 3. They didn't have the best judgment on the line there, but made the shot.
Yeah, had that sort of in-between situation, and that never really turns out well, usually. So Kerri Einarson now with a draw to the house for 2 here in the 4th.
We talked about this coming out of the break. This is exactly where Kerri wanted to be. She's got the hammer in the even end of a tie game and a chance to get her deuce.
And Sweeper's just cleaning this. And she'll slide into the 8-foot. And Einarson will take a 4-2 lead to the break. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss. But it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
So I guess it's just up to us to guess. So we're halfway through here in the women's final at the Saville Grand Prix at the Saville Curling Center in Edmonton, Alberta. You're watching us on Curling Stadium in Edmonton, and we encourage you to visit our site and like and subscribe, and it certainly helps us as we move into future events. You can see the scoreboard there. They haven't posted finals yet, but Einarson does lead 3-1, and we'll just take another little break while we wait for the teams to complete their break. So, Shawn, good and bad news while we're here. We might as well talk about the good and bad news in that and for the Haw team.
Well, there's not a lot of good news. They did get fortunate on that last double to catch the second stone and held her to 2. But really, so far, everything in this game has gone kind of the way that Anderson would like. She, as we said, she didn't win the draw to the button. So she gets the force in the first end. Or pardon me, gets the steal in the first end, the force in the second. And the steal, there was a shot for 2, but it was a very tough shot for 2 in the first. Probably an easier shot for 2 in the second. She's just a little deep, tied up after 2. Kerri really played that whole third for a blank. Put herself in exactly the position she wanted to be in the fourth end and got exactly what she wanted in the fourth end. So mentally going into the second half of the game, the Anderson team's got to be feeling pretty good. The Haw team may be feeling, a little uncertain. They haven't exactly executed when they had the opportunities, and that can play with your confidence going into the second half.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a couple missed opportunities for the Haw team for sure. You won't get that many opportunities against a team like Einarson, so you have to take advantage when you get them.
Yeah, no, they've had 2 chances for deuces already and didn't get either one of them, so it'll be interesting to see how they bounce back here in the second half. We should let everyone know, well, if you're not watching the men's final, it's on next door. They're just resuming play in the fifth end there, and Corey Dropkin has a 3-1 lead over Takumi Maeda as they resume play in the fifth. Maeda with the last rock there. So similar to our game, 2-point difference as they begin play in the fifth.
Yeah, good to have a couple close finals. Both teams trailing with hammers, so that's good. We're just a couple seconds from getting going here as Kristen Karwacki settles down into the hack. Probably going in the house with this shot.
I would tend to think so. With a 2-point lead, probably not going to throw the guard. You can always throw in. The other team's going to throw the corner guard. And if you make a good one on the first one and you really want to put the pressure on, you can always throw the guard on the second one. They're not likely going to hit it down 2.
Yeah, I always figured if you're pretty sure the other team's going to throw that corner, I always figured it was easier to throw the first one in and then guard it rather than try to maneuver around the guard on the second one. So.
Well, and for a couple of reasons. If you throw the center guard first, sometimes the other team will come around it and they take away your path.
Yeah. So as expected, Karwacki's throwing this one to the probably top 4. Top button would be good. And they will take it into full 8. A little bit short of where they wanted, but not bad. Haw will now throw up the corner guard. going hard just to get this over.
Yeah, they do not overthrow their guard attempts. They've had 3 brushers on a few of them.
Yeah, you're right about that. And they could afford to be a little deeper than that. That's a pretty long corner guard. So I didn't see Kerri do anything here, but I'm guessing she's throwing it right on top of the other one.
I thought she indicated for the tight center here.
Did she? Okay. Yeah, looks like you're right.
I don't think they'll be disappointed if it comes right in.
Need to get just a little more curl.
Yeah, they'd like to get center line out of this. Just to touch it.
Didn't quite get there, but...
Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
Now this is kind of that shot I talked about in the first end. Because that stone's not touching the center line, you can tight ice this a little bit. And if you happen to rub that stone going by, your shooter might end up in behind the corner. That was the conversation there. They want to make sure both teams agree that stone is not on the center line. You play in the corner freeze. That's the call. But if you ever happen to rub that yellow guard going by, they'll stay with the shooter, try to get it in behind the corner.
Starting to move now.
It's not one where you can afford to be light.
No, and I think she is. Oh, the sweepers didn't get on that right away. A little bit strange, but...
Left it overlapped. Kerri would love to come around on the intern side, but it's a tough port on the intern. She's going to play wide around the out. Try to come around her own stone top 8.
And Courtney and the change rocks. Sometimes you just have that subtle difference in the rocks, and
yeah, she might think she has one that curls a little more than the other, and actually this would be the great place to use it because you're trying to come around a stone on the top of the 8-foot.
Someone's going to have a hard time getting by the next yellow. But it didn't really hurt anything.
It leaves the hit and roll under. Now, whether or not she's going to play it or not is a whole other question because that overlapped guard is a problem for her.
Yeah, looks like she's going to try to get rid of both these guards, really. And then roll her shooter to the left towards the other guard. Be a peel weight shot.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you think she's throwing that much? I don't think she wants to lose all the reds. She might have to lose one, but I think she's got to keep one of them hanging around.
Yeah, I was guessing by the bloom position there. It didn't seem to shed very much. I was going to get both, but leave the shooter, I think. Probably could have stood just a couple more inches of ice with that, that particular weight.
Yeah, I would agree. She hits that just a shade on the outside. Shooter rolls off the center line, and that stone, that red stone that's cornered on the yellow, might have ended up in the rings, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, she didn't. The rocks were positioned. She didn't really have to throw it hard, but definitely needed the right ice for it. So. Their turn come around again for Joanne Courtney. Just kind of coming around to her own here. It's a good shot.
Yeah, that's really nice. You've kind of put the Ha team in a situation where they got to start playing defense. They're down 2, so as long as you can keep them from trying to play offense, they can't really do much about trying to close that gap.
Yeah, and really no choice here.
No, exactly. No scoring area, no way to get at the yellows directly. Now, having said that, if she absolutely sticks the run back, she can flip this end in a hurry. It's close, really close. Boy, that's a really good shot. And she did kind of flip this end all in one shot. Kerri can hit the redstone. She can't roll under cover because she'd jam it.
Yeah, really good shot. And big awareness for the sweeper too. It was over there. The yellow didn't go out, but she was right there with it. Just if it was going to go, she was ready. So. This one. I'm going to get a piece. I'm not going to get a big piece, I don't think, but maybe big enough to hang around. No, I don't think so. Interesting call now for Ha.
Yeah, she's got to make a decision, right? It's not looking good for a blank. And so it looks like she wants to play the come around, and then the decision is, well, which one do you come around? They're both her rocks. She's likely playing for second shot right now either way.
Yeah, definitely if she goes around the corner, definitely playing for center shot. Or second shot, rather. Thought she might come around the center, just try to bite the top of the 4, but... No turn draw around the red corner guard. Oh, another short rock.
Yeah.
Needed that to at least be number 2.
Yeah, there's no pressure on Einarson now at all. No tough decision to be made. She can just come around the middle. You bury that for second shot, it actually forces Kerri to think a bit about what she wants to do here.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
There's some risk. Sitting 2 already, not much risk.
Well, Sweeting. Sweeper's on this one right away too, but I think she'll get there. Or maybe not. You could probably split this and sit number 2, number 3, but...
Yeah. Mind you, if you're worried about just sitting 2-3, you could just hit third shot. Or second shot, I guess.
Only 3 to come.
Yeah, I think you're hitting shot rock and rolling in behind here.
Yeah, I think that's what I'd be doing as well. Just might not be enough time to throw the other shot and then trying to figure out how to get rid of what's left.
Well, you make the hit and roll behind. You're still sitting shot in third, and there's some danger in ignoring the third shot rock because second shot out in the edge of the 12-foot is wide open.
Yeah.
So you can at least put a little pressure on Kerri Einarson if you get the rolling behind cover here.
Him delivers this one. This could be close.
Yeah, it's really good.
Just don't sweep it into the hole. Very nicely done. Still might be a difficult 2, but at least you're in a little better position than you were a couple minutes ago.
Yeah. Well, and Kerri's got to be careful here. You know, this is one where if you're 2 inches heavy and you rub off, Ha has the chance to hit and roll on top of her own again, and three's in play.
Yeah. Yeah, pro side miss here, just be a little tiny bit short. You don't want to be way short, but if you're just a foot or so short in the right line, it's not bad. So Einarson.
Both pressures down early.
Might have overswept it a little bit.
Yeah, they did.
Be a mistake they won't be very happy with.
No.
They did exactly what you said. They almost didn't roll very far enough, and they may not have rolled far enough to make the hit and roll inside, but it's certainly a lot better.
Yeah.
A bit shorter.
Even if she just gets to the nose of it and taps it back, 8 inches, she's probably sitting 2.
Yeah.
And it's pretty risky to try to play any weight at it.
There seem to have a couple problems getting on the same page on a couple of these shots, it seems.
If she could get to the inside corner of this, even if she doesn't move it, even if it leaves the yellow sitting shot for now, or second shot, I guess it would be, but gets to the inside corner, there might be something off that red out front, just a little wick in for 3. Yeah. There's certainly not going to be anything Kerri can do to cut it down, I don't think.
No, she's got a lot of ice, so she's not throwing this very hard. She's not playing.
No, it's heavy draw.
Yeah.
We have seen her a couple of times on this out turn, this very similar path. She does not tend to throw these wide.
No.
Let's put it that way. That's maybe the nicest way to say it.
She's okay for line this time. We're going to have to get it over there. Can she roll far enough away to not leave Kerri a double? Guess she can get rid of it, so. That one did go quite straight. She must have put it out a little bit.
There's a lot of rotation on it. There's a port where she can get at shot rock. She can come off the red and the 8-foot, also come into the side of the yellow, push it onto shot rock. Which one do you like? She could just draw corner freeze the yellow too. If she gets the inside of the yellow, how do you ever get it out?
Yeah. Yeah, since she doesn't really have to take any risk of on the red that's in the hole, but it does look pretty much wide open, and it's a style of shot that Kerri likes to play. But yeah. I think the draw makes the most sense here.
I think she's playing the hit.
the hit on what?
The red right behind the broom, and then have her shooter come across into the side of the yellow and push it into shot rock. This is pretty safe. Like you're not going to rub a guard. There's no guard to rub. You're going to hit that stone for sure, and you're never giving up more than 2. But it does look like it looks pretty natural. You hit half a rock, you're coming into the side of that yellow. It's pushing it right into shot rock.
Yeah, and in a position where it's going to be really hard to remove it, really. Yeah, so you're right, judging by this. Hope you're going to hit it a little too thick.
Yeah, she needs about a half. This is going to be a little thick. She moves hers over enough to be shot rock, but did she leave a double?
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's going to look like the yellow's going into the side of the red, but keep in mind where she's going to hit that first red stone.
Yeah.
I think they're wondering, can they get directly at the Yellowstone? Then maybe they can. It looks pretty well buried.
Yeah, it is. It is very well buried, and our last one didn't really make any great move over there. So
you look at where the front edge of that Yellowstone on the T line is, so it's still 3 to 4 inches in front of the yellow. That's where you're making contact. So when you come across, if you decide to play in off the yellow, you're actually coming to the front edge of the second yellow. You don't have to push it very far behind the red to get 2.
Yeah.
This shot's, it's probably there. It's not easy, but she only needs to move it, 3 inches?
Yeah, that'd be about all at most, yeah. I don't think if you're throwing just the weight that it looks like with the ice that they're taking, I don't think you're ever going to come off that outside one.
She's just looking at the hit I was looking at now.
Yeah.
They're going to call their timeout, and I think this, if memory serves, this is their second timeout, so...
It is, yeah.
The coach can go to the bar after this.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know that you're going to look at that long raise when you...
Yeah, no, I don't think I'm ever playing that.
No, not to... You might get 2 if you make it perfect, but holy cow, it's pretty hard.
You might give up 3 too.
Yeah, the double that you suggested is pretty good to get at least 1.
At least 1, and I think you're coming enough to the front edge of that second yellow that you'll push it. It probably touches the other red, but I think the yellow's going farther than the red.
Yeah. I would like that far more than when they're looking at any kind of long raise like that they have here.
The shot that they were looking at originally it's probably just there. I mean, you're coming around a stone that's not quite full 12 foot, but the stone you're trying to make contact with is back of the T line, so you've got about 6 feet of space. Yeah. If you get to half of it, your shooter's not going to roll very far.
No.
You only need to move it about 3 inches. So, it's probably there.
Yeah, I think
it doesn't look easy from the hacks, for sure.
No,
It's going to look tough.
Yeah, I would agree on that, but I agree too that it definitely can make it. I mean, it like you said earlier, it only has to move it about 3 inches, so really it just has to be a back 4 foot max draw weight. So, anything above that, it's not going to curl enough for you anyway. So, see what they decide.
I think the double's there. Now, here's the problem. When you call the timeout, your coach stays down at the other end. He doesn't have the shot that we've got. He doesn't know how flat that is. So I don't know that he's in a position to actually advise. I'm surprised he didn't make his way down to the other end.
Yeah. It's like most curling clubs now. There will be screens on the inside. The overheads are on the other end.
Well, there might be. Yes, there might be.
But regardless, still, to your point, it's even those are not always the most accurate thing to go by.
No, overheads will tend to distort your angle a little bit because, of course, it depends. Every TV or streaming service sets up the camera to make it look like you're dead over top of the pinhole, but you may not be because it depends on the building. You've got to mount it to something. And, if you're a foot behind the T-line, for instance, that angle is ever so slightly distorted.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the case in a lot of clubs because, like you say, you can't.
You have to mount it to what's there. You can't
Yeah.
just automatically put it over the pinhole. The buildings weren't built with the thought of mounting a camera in mind.
Well, no. So it does look like they've settled on trying this double. I think probably the best option of all of them.
She does have to hit the first one fairly thick because you want to get to the front edge of that second yellow one as much as you can. Try to push it behind the yellow or the red. It's probably touching the red, but if you get to the front edge of the yellow probably goes farther than the red does.
Yeah,
the shooter will be shot rock.
If you hit a little too thin, you're only going to get the one. Definitely has to curl.
It's close.
Really close.
Makes the hit, comes across, does.
That's a great shot. Great shot, and a great job by my partner to describe that shot. So, Ha will get her deuce with a tremendous double on her last shot here. And we will go to the sixth end in a 3-3 tie.
Gripper first.
Don't forget your brooms.
Yep, you got it. Yellow.
Come on up. Okay, well, what do you got? You got one, you got two, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
So after a tremendous final stone by Ha at the end of the fifth end, we are in a 3-3 tie in the women's final here at the Saville Grand Prix at the Saville Curling Center in Edmonton, Alberta. My name's Jim Nixon. I'm with Shawn Joyce, and that was quite a final shot, Shawn.
Yeah, it was. I'm just looking at the scores in between ends too, and I'm trying to figure out, is the men's game a predictor of the women's game, or is it the women's that's the predictor of the men's game? Because the team that started out with the hammer in both games was down 3-1 playing the fifth, and both of them got a deuce. We're tied up in both games in the finals. You can't ask for more if you're at the Saville Center watching these two finals. It's two outstanding games. Figure out who's going to be done the sixth end first and see if they match each other again.
Yeah. So I was going to ask Lee Seungyoun Kim to play the intern draw on the red one. Indicating a little high, a little heavy probably here. Yeah. Quite a bit heavy. Might hang around, but it's way back there. Kerri Einarson's going to play the exact same shot, and would like to have not quite the exact same result. She'd love to have this one above the tee line. Sixth end, always a good end to score. Almost always a good end to score. There's times when maybe not, but Kristen Karwacki. Well, Sweeting has the job of trying to keep this straight. And they will just sneak by.
Yeah, you could just kind of tell by the body language. They didn't really want to go, but they had to go to get it by. It ends up right on the button, maybe a little deeper than they would have liked.
Yeah, it's interesting with that when you watch the sweepers and maybe like you say, you have to go and you can just tell they don't want to go.
Had to get by though. You rub, it's a chance for the hit and roll underneath.
Yeah.
Still, if where are we at here? Tai Yang, if she can make the freeze, it certainly shrinks the scoring area here. If she can get it right to the face, there's always runbacks later too, so it's a big shot here. Tough to get right to the face. You saw how tight by the guard Kristen Karwacki was, and this line's close.
This is very close. Well, that's a great shot too.
Time to bail a little bit.
Yeah, she's had enough of that. She might be able to put her own on the circles here if she hits this right. So the red one a little bit thin and just catch the yellow and roll it into the ring somewhere.
Yeah, if you're really greedy, you hit the red one maybe half, come across the top of the yellow, push it into the rings, but roll with it and stay guarded. How greedy is that?
Well, you got to be thinking.
Well, I'm thinking this is overcurled for that. It's on the wrong side of the red.
Joanne, I think it's fair to say, having a little bit of a struggle in this one. Did the job, but certainly wasn't where they plan on hitting it. I was going to throw guard. This team out of timeouts now, so they're on their own for the last three ends. At least I assume that. I assume they only have 2 timeouts. That would be them.
I believe so. If they go to an extra end, they will get one more in the extra end.
Yeah.
So, the coach could be in the bar, but he's got to be a little careful in case they have to come back out. In case he has to come back out in the extra end.
Yeah. It's going to be a good guard.
Yeah, it's in line. I'm thinking we're going to see the double peel here.
Yeah.
The hesitation here for Kerri Einarson. If you play the double peel, you probably expect that Ha's going to make the play on the Yellowstone, and then you're just trying to get back to a blank. Well, a blank in 6 is not what you want.
No.
But it's hard to see a good way to turn this into offensive opportunity. You could just straight peel the one guard, make her put it back a couple of times. That's what they're going to play. So just straight peel the red. She'll have to put it back. If they ever over curl or leave you a port to get to that Yellowstone at the top button, there might still be an offensive opportunity.
She's going to get the top one for sure. So it did the job. Could have hit it. If she ever hit it just a hair thinner, she might have actually spilled that yellow on, but that would have been almost would have had to miss the other one. Put the guard back here. There might come to a point where Einarson decides to play the angle raise on the yellow, but that's not usually one that you like to do until your last shot.
Yeah, well, and even then, the Yellowstone at the back of it's behind the T line, so you run the angle yellow. You make it perfect. She's still got something she could freeze to at the back of the button. It's not the ideal situation. Haas still has to make a decision too as to how many more guards she's going to throw, because she's always also got the option at some point. She wouldn't do it this early for sure. Maybe not until it at least skips first. You play the short little angle red onto yellow, and if you're sitting 3, you're in a strong force situation.
Yeah. And Kim throwing this one, the third stone for Team Ha. Everybody's sweeping it.
Yeah, she's got to close the port. If she leaves the port on the out turn, she might be able to get at that stone. That's good brushing.
I think there is a port.
It's not a wide port.
No,
It's got a curl to make the port. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I'm looking just. Yeah, if I look at the overhead, it looks like you've got a reasonable amount of distance between the two. So
yeah, you do.
Yeah, workable. But yeah, I agree.
Right.
Not an easy port.
I wonder if this is one where it helps that it's Val coming through, so it's her intern.
Yeah,
she'll get a little bit more curl.
Yeah, and she's throwing from the other hack, so she's throwing from the better hack to go at this one.
Calling the brush on right away. Didn't look narrow.
It's going to curl.
It's not narrow. It's going to clip the yellow one now. Do both of them stick in the rings? No, the shooter's going to keep going.
So another interesting situation for Ha, with only 3 rocks to come. Question whether she throws another guard on her own.
Yeah, I don't think you throw another guard. You could freeze to your own or hit the yellow.
Yeah.
They haven't talked about freezing to their own. I don't mind it. If you freeze to your own, what does Kerri do? She might have to deal a guard, I guess, eh?
Yeah, she probably peels the guard, yeah. With a chance to remove shot stone to sit 3 here.
Yeah, the problem with this, though, she's got to roll to the open side. Kerri's still going to have the same shot, the out turn, or I guess the in turn for Val. There's no port now. It's just the one guard she's got to get by, and she's going to roll over towards this stone, maybe get in front of something. No, don't think they're rolling very far on this either.
No, not rolling at all, I don't think. And get rid of a rock at the back.
Oh, boy. There's a double on the Reds. She doesn't even have to play it now. She could freeze the pocket right now and then use that to play the double later. She's going to play the double right now. Two ways to make it, really, too. You can hit either stone first.
Really close. Got to curl a little bit more.
Oh, kind of got in between what they needed. Hit the, just rubbed the stone at the top of the 4-foot first, moved it out of the way, and redirected the shooter more solidly onto the back one. If you get by the first one and just hit the back one first, come into the side of the second one, you move it farther.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Pretty much has to play the shot that they look like they're indicating here, and that's kind of the freeze at the yellow freeze happens a little bit maybe. But
yeah, I don't think I'd be too worried about tapping it just yet either.
No, just as long as you're right on it, yeah.
There's 3 yellows hanging around, and you can't really get rid of anything here, so you try to bump this, and if you roll out at all, it's double to sit 4.
Yeah.
You play the freeze, you won't be shot rock, but you're going to have a shot with your next one.
And I think if you're going to play that so precise that you only want to move it about 2 inches, then, or I guess you'd have to move it further than that to be shot. And I think there's a really good chance you'll set up a double, as you mentioned. So I think you got to be really careful here.
Yeah, it's all those biters around that kind of dictate you can't really go after this too hard. The freeze is safer.
Yeah.
You make the freeze here, it eliminates those 2 yellows around the outside. Still not a lot of room for Kerri to try to score 2, and you're still going to have another shot.
Yeah.
Try to move that shot rock.
There's been more cleaning going on in this game than any game I've ever seen in my life. In between shots, with the front ends are constantly going.
Oh, you got to keep those guys busy.
Well, you know, it's funny when we used to coach juniors would be like, hard to get them to keep doing that. And you're like, well, what else are you doing? You're not really doing anything else. I'm not asking you to exert a lot of energy here. Just clean it up a little bit.
As a long-time skip, I'll say if you don't have those front, if they're doing something other than cleaning, then they might be giving you opinions, and you don't want that.
Yeah.
Just go clean something here.
Yeah.
The third now, figure out what we're gonna play.
Yeah. Seungyoun Ha here. Line looks pretty good.
Yeah. They don't throw big weight, but they throw a lot of rotation, so their rocks will carry a long way, and we've certainly seen that with their brushers so far this game. They've been able to carry things a long ways. This has over curled. She does have a shot, though, on that out on the intern side.
Yeah.
It actually curled far enough she can get to it on the intern, red on the yellow.
Yeah, it went a long way, though. It curled a ton.
Yeah. So it creates a problem now for Kerri. What do you do? Like, you can't come in for second without leaving a double. You're probably not real comfortable throwing a guard with last rock.
Yeah, tough call.
Gonna call their timeout. Could you ever get? And I'm not sure. Could you ever get to the inside of the red stone? Tap. So that's the tap they're looking at now. Tap red onto red, move it back, and then stay quarter frozen on the inside of that red.
Coming on the intern.
Probably would have to be. I don't think you can get there with the out turn.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you can get there with the intern for that matter.
Reed Carruthers. Hadn't seen Reed all weekend till now, so. Yeah, tough call here. I'm not really sure what the right shot is here.
Do you ever peel the guard?
Yeah, what happens if you peel it? So if you peel it, the Koreans are going to make a, I don't know if they'd ever make a move on your yellow or not.
Well, that's just it. Like, if you peel the guard, can they make a move on the yellow? Because it's pretty easy for them to leave a triple.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're talking about that, but that's what I'm seeing now. Peel the guard and dare her to leave the triple. That's what they're seeing too.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't appear to be talking about that, but they obviously were, just indicating what the future shots might be in the house. The only other shot I saw was play the out turn round, come around, tap that red one back a little bit, and stay sort of partially guarding, and then you set up the next shot.
It's a great shot if it's there. It's just hard to know for sure if it's there. It's there with draw weight for sure, but anytime they throw a little bit extra, it doesn't seem to want to curl.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So Einarson now will play the peel. No problem there.
Well, decision time for Ha, really. You could play the red onto the yellow, but if you leave it a triple, you're going to wish you hadn't played it. There's no shot for more than 2 if you don't throw. And it's a tough shot for 2. She's got to draw to what she can see the button. You could actually throw a guard on that other side of center and take that away.
Yeah, and I think the red on the yellow, it looks to me when I'm looking at it, you got to hit probably, what, a half a rock on the outside and no more than that. So you just looks on the overhead. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. And then I don't know what that does. I think it leaves it pretty much leaves a double for sure.
It leaves a pretty easy double in the middle, so you'd have to throw it quiet enough to hold your shooter, and that's hard.
Yeah, yeah.
If you put this stone, if you look at where the third is now, put this stone right where her brush was, right where it is right now. How do you get 2?
Yeah, I think you would try to make sure you just give up the 1 here. You'd love to be able to remove the yellow maybe and roll away and sit 3 and make Kerri make a good shot against 3, but I don't know. It's pretty tough and has more potential to go wrong than right.
I guess, Kerri can always come off of her yellow at the edge of the 12-foot. Tough shot, but I don't think she can ever hurt herself playing that one.
Yeah.
And certainly if you put this kind of where they're tapping the ice, that might be all she's got left for 2. She'll play it if it's all she's got left.
Yeah.
She may well make it, too.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be hard for her. I was just looking to see if there's any way that she could end up giving up points that way, and I guess there maybe is, but it would be very, very, very unlikely. You'd have to hit almost the bottom half of the yellow and have both rocks roll away and have red sit there and get 1. But
yeah, I think if you're hitting the bottom half of the yellow, it's going straight into the red.
Yeah. So looks like a guard coming for Ha. Something in the top of the 8-foot, sort of a guard. Just trying to make the draw for 2 really tough.
Looks pretty good.
Well, I think it's pretty much where they wanted it. Maybe not 100%, but pretty close. Kerri definitely having a look at the hit and roll.
Yeah, she might have left her room to get to the edge of the button with the draw. It probably needed to come another 6 inches and curl maybe 2 more inches off the line.
Yeah. Yeah, because, basically she's got to draw to the 4-foot here. And
yeah, if you look at where that red stone is from the hacks in, she just needs to end up edge to edge with that red, but she's going to have to put it right on the tee line.
Yeah, and she does have to get full 4-foot. Anything less than absolute full 4-foot, and she won't score 2.
That little wave would indicate they don't want to sweep.
Yeah, it looks like it's coming down pretty good to me, though. It's got a curl. Nah, I guess it's not coming down that good either. Be close. Not quite. Well, a heck of a try by Kerri Einarson here, but she will pick up 1 point in the sixth end to take a 4-3 lead after 6. 2 ends to go here at the women's final in the Saville Grand Prix.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Well, 2 ends to go here. Kerri Einarson coming away from the sixth end with a 1. Very interesting, but quite long end, Shawn, but a lot of good shots, a lot of interesting situations there.
Yeah, there were some angles set up. It kind of forced them to take some time to think about that. But we, in the end, and I said it during the break, we should have known that was coming because over our next door, Corey Dropkin picked up a single in the sixth end. So they've continued to mirror the results in these 2 finals. Dropkin starting out without last rock has got a 4-3 lead over Maeda. Maeda with last rock in the 7th, just as he had in the 1st. And same situation here.
Yeah, that's just we need some betting odds on that one. Talk to Shawn about that. Well, obviously not where she wanted to go with that one, way at the back of the 8 foot. But
they've had a couple of deep draws. Well, I've had the good fortune with the 2 games I've called today. I've seen 7th ends that look like this in both games, and it's an interesting situation because you see the team without last rock here is trying to force a single. And honestly, they'd take a single either way. They'd take a steal or force a one. If they steal, they're up 2 coming home. If they force, they've got the hammer coming home. Either one's good. They probably don't want to see a blank.
No.
But you do have to be a little careful if you play too aggressively for the force. I say this somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but I've seen it happen, and we saw it happen this morning, Jim. The game that we were doing, you try too aggressively to force a single here in 7, and sometimes you could force the other team to score 3. And so Ha has to be. She might like a blank, but she has to be open to the possibility of being forced to go onto the offense here.
Yeah, that wasn't a good run for Kristen there.
No.
So Jin Kim now try to go in the house and a little higher this time. This one might also be a little bit heavy sometime. Yeah. Quite a bit heavy.
It's making the blank look pretty unlikely, though.
Yeah. It's tough. You got to get a little better result out of the first couple rocks there. It looks like Kerri's going to come through this hole.
Yeah, she thought about drawing, but it's tough to ignore 2 red biters back there. Just what I said. You don't want to force them to score 3.
Yeah.
And you're in trouble. You definitely make the port here. I don't think you can make the double. Certainly not playing from the out-turn side. Maybe if you played the in-turn.
This one's going to be on the guard, I think.
And that was the 5th stone of the end. So decision time for Ha. If you wanted to play for the blank, if you were one of those teams that we'd rather be 1 down with last rock coming home, she could peel the guard right now.
Yeah. She's opted to play the come around.
Yeah, she's going to play the come around. Well, the chance for 3 still alive, too.
Yeah. And if you do peel the guard and Kerri decides to just draw down to the back one for starters, then it might make it a little bit difficult to bring those ones into play.
Well,
it's hard to bring those rocks to the back and lead foot and pull foot.
Yeah, if you peel the guard and she comes to the back once, you're just blasting. You're definitely playing for the blank then.
Yeah. So Tae Yang here. Hi Yang. This one looks really good. I'll sneak it by. Good result. Probably looking for a little more depth than that, but still.
Yeah, it's when you don't have when you have last rock being up high in the rings, not bad.
I know.
Kerri thinking about the run now. That's a bailout shot really at this point in the end. Her first thought was to hit the back stone in the back of the 8 and try to roll in front of the one in the back 12.
Yeah. So the whole squad's going to come and have a look here.
I don't imagine they're uncomfortable giving up 2, but at this point in time, they have to be really conscious of the risk of 3.
Yeah. The run is an interesting option because you could certainly run it back there and have the red go back and take out another red one at the back. But
well, you could, but you could be 1 shot away from a blank end too.
Yeah, and you also have and the run is a lot more difficult than it looks on this long view. It looks like it's so close together.
That's true.
Yeah. Overhead, it's not quite as gimme. It almost looks like a gimme on the long view here.
Well, I expect she probably makes the one in the 12 foot, but it's not a gimme to make contact with the 2 at the back for sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
Could be awful close to making it at the back and just jam one and miss the second one.
Yeah. Einarson does have 1 timeout remaining, so she will try to hold that. Usually you like to keep that extra one in your pocket until the last end. And it's really early in this end anyways for this, but
I don't mind her shot call to play the hit and roll in front of the one at the back 12.
No.
Probably to go after it all, she's probably she's going to lose 1 red, either her shooter or she blasts it out off the one at the back, and then for the time being at least it's only looking like 2.
She might just leave it there and go around the corner again.
She might. That'd be the concern, except that this will be shot rock.
Yeah. Oh yeah, agreed.
Now it's shot rock well at the back. She could still ignore it for now and worry about playing it later.
Yeah. Looking like a nose hit.
Yep.
Like to roll away from here if you're high, I think.
Yeah. Would you ever freeze it?
No, I don't think. Greg can hit and roll to the other side of the center. Back 8 foot over there. It's a pretty good spot. Use Kerri with a lot of stuff to think about. Yang with her second.
That's a really nice roll. There's a double at the back. I think if you make it, you're still shot rock.
Yeah.
But then you're definitely far enough back that she might freeze.
Yeah. So it's a hit and roll or the double. I don't know if there's a definite on this. I'm not really sure exactly. I think the double's definitely there, and
yeah, I think you want the double
in front of it.
Looks like she's throwing some big weight here. I don't know whether she thinks she might be able to spin up a little bit.
It might be going to curl a little too much even for the double. Came up a little more than what she'd like. Well, I was probably going to leave a double here, an easier double for Einarson.
Yeah. Mind you, I don't think she minds leaving a double at the back.
No. No, it's going to be really hard to not leave it back there. You're just flirting with. You don't have a lot of room to work the rock. You kind of got to go where it's going to stay. So that's basically what she was planning on that shot.
Yeah, left her the nose, hit double.
Well, Sweeting throwing her out turn. This one looks pretty good. Very nicely done.
Looks like Ha is content to play this in for 2.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking
it's a good spot to freeze, right? You make the freeze, Kerri blasts it out, you come around, and you've got a chance for your 3.
Yeah. Trying to roll a little bit away from the guards, and she's going to do that. That's very nicely managed, that shot. Going to be important for Einarson to stay here. Einarson,
Yeah.
to stay here.
If she stays, that come around, try to set up 3 is still available.
Yeah. I'm going to throw it back a little bit. She's going to be okay. We even got shot rock. Same comment for Ha. Yes.
Yeah.
When she stays.
Well, yeah, not as critical because it's a tough come around for Kerri. She's probably going to have a shot at 2 no matter what.
Yeah.
I will say that, the bad news for Ha is that right next door, Takumi Maeda got forced to a single point. So if they continue to mirror, she's only getting 1 here.
Done a good job of trying to move that rock where they'd like it to be.
It's a nice roll too, because if Kerri tries to roll back underneath the guard, she might be far enough back that it's just a draw for 2.
Yeah.
I don't know if she can bury and be shot rock.
No, it would be, if she's completely buried, it looks like it would be difficult to be shot, but out turn hit for Kerri Einarson. Well, she's shot. She's not buried, but she's not far away from it.
If it had rolled to dead buried, I think she's too far back, but she's made it as difficult as she could.
No, I think it was a tremendous shot. It was very, very difficult to make this shot as difficult as she's made it. And it does set up the possible 1 score.
Yeah, they're looking at the hack waiter. I thought they'd throw this as just a heavy draw.
Yeah.
You only need to move it 2 inches.
Yeah.
But you have to hold the shooter. That's the key. And if you play this as a heavy draw and it over curls and you touch the red, you could split and get the 2 that way.
No, you're right.
I don't like this weight call.
So Nyan Ha. Sweeper's on it pretty quickly. I think she's okay. Needs to curl, probably, more than...
Wow, that finishes nicely coming in.
Yeah, very nicely done for Ha and team. So they will take a 1-point lead to the 8th end here in a very exciting women's final. And we've broken the string as we wait and come back for the 8th end.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible.
So we're back for the 8th and possibly final end of the women's final here at the Saville Grand Prix. I think it's always an interesting end when the team is up one without. And how hard do you go, Shawn, to steal?
Well, I've had different teams. I've talked to a lot of teams over the years doing commentary with this, and it's always interesting to hear how they want to approach it. But I do know there's a lot of teams that feel when you're one up like this, you almost have to play it like a hard steal, because it's really tough when you've got the 5 rock free guard zone and the team with last rock is determined to try to score. It's really tough to stop them. So you almost have to play it like a hard steal in the middle. If you get enough play in the middle, at the very least, you might get a force. But they're throwing one guard. They might even throw 2. And if they play really aggressive towards the corners, it's tough to stop a team from scoring.
Yeah. That's my thoughts as well. That's usually the way I would approach it. Just like you say, sometimes that changes halfway through the end.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you've got to have a little bit of a plan here. It can go sideways really quick. Seungyoun Kim, a little trouble with draw weight the last end.
Yeah, she slid a couple of rocks deep in this game. Needs to be in front of the tee line on this one.
She's a nice guard out there. This one's looks like it's going to be heavy again, though. Oh, geez, dug in pretty good.
Yeah, the weight wasn't bad. It just didn't curl. She only got about half under.
Kerri Einarson going to play the freeze. Kristen Karwacki looks maybe a little light on this.
That's not bad, I don't think. I'd love to get to the inside. Is it going to curl enough? Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah, no, a real good shot.
Boy, both of those last 2 rocks seem like they fudged down in the house. They're maybe getting a little flat on the sliding surface there. And that could be a factor if somebody has to throw a draw up the last stone.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So I was going to throw a guard.
Yeah, I think she'll look to come close to the corner on that yellow stone.
Oh, okay.
But short's the miss for sure.
Taeyang.
Absolutely can't bounce off on this. Uh-oh. Yeah, just a little strong. Bounces off and leaves the double.
Yeah, she's going to have to come really tight to the guard, but it's definitely there.
She's got the shot you just saw her talk about on the yellow too. Play the corner of the yellow, roll a shooter behind the corner. She could be just a shade high on this red too and just jam the second one, leave her shooter in a good spot. It's not a bad result either.
Yeah.
Joanne just wants to figure out which rock she needs to throw here. She was almost ready to kick that one back into the corner, just sticking with it now. No significant double. Sorry, Jim.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Outturn hit for Joanne Courtney.
Nose hit makes the double, and she's just a sliver high and just jams it. She could have angles both ways on that redstone. That's not bad either. Boy, this is going to overcurl, though. Yeah, she gets away with it, though.
I know, it's hard to believe you could ever hit that one and not hit the red one.
Got away with it because she left a good angle on the yellow onto red. And Seungyoun Ha can't really do anything about it. Like, she can't play anything on those yellows without putting it onto the red.
No.
I don't see that the corner freeze on the top yellow does anything for you. If you could corner freeze the second one, that's not bad.
It would be good.
It's tough. It's tough, but it's probably the best shot.
Yeah, those lined up very nicely for Einarson.
Yeah, well, and if she ever gets a chance to play it, everything's rolling towards the corner guard, too.
Yeah.
Same issue here as there was with the last one, though. She cannot bounce off.
Well, that's a pretty darn good shot, though.
Yeah, it bounced a little bit, but not so much that she's out into the open. That's pretty good. Actually changed the angle just a little bit on that yellow. I mean, you probably still make contact with the red, but not as good as it was a minute ago.
No, absolutely.
Could try to put the yellow into the one that was just thrown.
Yeah, that might be the shot.
And then let me ask you, Jim, because there's a couple of ways you could do this. If you're putting the yellow into the red that was just thrown, are you trying to kill it, or are you just trying to pop it out into the open where you might have a double off it later? Like, both are good. Which is easier?
Yeah, which is easier, yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy
to
just leave it in a spot for a double, but
I like the idea of just popping it out and hanging around the corner, but I just don't know how delicate that is.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're calling bumper, but with what you can see and how you're hitting it, that still might only be enough to just pop it out.
Yeah.
You want to keep the shooter in play for sure. Get half a rock with bumper. This could be interesting. We're going to get some interesting angles this end by the looks of it.
Karwacki trying to keep this one straight. Don't want to hit very much of that yellow.
Well, half is close, I think. They're going to move it a little farther than I would have liked, but her shooter doesn't roll as far as the red, so she's sitting shot third and fourth.
That sounds good, but...
Well, I think it is good. There's a double available in the middle, but hard not to leave a double back, and it's the fact that you stayed for fourth is what really matters.
Yeah.
You only need two here. You don't need a million. You only need two.
Exactly, yeah. If she can hit this just off nose on the center line side, she could possibly make the double and roll behind the guard.
If she could make the double and roll under, that's a fantastic shot. It's probably just there.
Yeah.
You can hit on the nose and make the double. The problem is then you probably leave a double back and a roll behind the corner, and Kerri Einarson's in great shape after that.
Eileen Kim. He has to make the double here. This is curling hard early. Got to get it by that guard. Got to get it by the guard. She won't. But she did at least partially guard her own rock.
Yeah, covered most of the red one.
I know she's a little tighter. If it was just need a little more ice or a little light maybe too, she could have been.
Can you get to the pocket with the intern?
I think so.
You'd have to get by that stone in the 8-foot. I don't know if you can get to the inside of that red one with the out turn right now.
No, I don't think you could, for sure.
What if you tap the yellow in the 8-foot back about 1.5 feet and maybe just get ever so slightly to the inside of it so that your shooter sits in front of a wall of 3?
Yeah, that's not a bad shot at all.
Tough.
You say
guards are kind of in the way for the draw line to do that.
Yeah, and if you're going to do that, like you say, you'd like to roll a little tiny bit, but just a tiny bit. I don't think you want
just
to
a
put it
tiny
where.
bit.
Yeah,
but,
you don't.
But the
you
guards
don't need to access it. Yeah.
Guards are kind of in the draw path to make that shot.
So they've settled on the out turn. I guess it's going to be a tap. We'll call it a tap. I don't really know how hard they're going to throw it. It looks like probably about a half weight shot, maybe, or a board weight shot with that ice, but I don't think you'd want to throw it very hard. This side's tough.
Yeah, and the problem with this is where you roll, you might leave a double back into that stone at the top of the button. You almost need a big roll here.
Those are going really, really hard on this. It'll be really hard to get this by.
Once they buy, they might try to go for the nose.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to roll far enough.
Very nice shot, though.
Gets the red all the way out. That's important.
Yeah.
Now she's sitting 4.
So with only 3 rocks each to come, Ma's going to be in. Definitely needs the double on this shot, I think.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Does she? Like, you're not going to be shot rock off the double. You roll in. I'm pretty sure the yellow on the side's still shot. Holding her to 2 doesn't do you any good.
No, I know.
So do you ever just, instead of playing the double, do you ever just move it back and try to get a couple of rocks behind the tee line?
You could. I don't know that you're going to go way over there. That's not going to help. I don't know if they think they might be able to get second shot, or get shot rather, if they make the double. I don't know. It doesn't look like it would ever be able to be possible without spinning it too far over and being wide open.
Yeah. I think if you make the double, you're probably better off to stay right there, force Kerri to hit it back, and then you can come around everything.
Yeah. So, fairly quick decision, if nothing else here, for Team Ha. And Eileen Kim. Definitely close to making the double. Well, it did stay right there, so.
Yeah. It's second shot, so Kerri's going to have to make a play on it. She probably doesn't want to roll under. If she stays just fully open, it's probably the best spot for it, because Ha probably has to start looking at coming around, and then you'd have this stone to run back.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think she definitely has to draw around in this shot, and if Kerri leaves this where she can use it, then that's going to make it tough for Ha.
Yeah.
This one's out there a long ways.
Yeah, it's going to have to curl if it's going to stay right there.
Well, should be a fairly easy decision, though.
Should be, but they're looking at something to hit, and I'm not sure why.
No. I can't imagine that they'll end up with playing that shot. That's just like, why would you ever do that? You can draw to probably even a better spot, and making the roll is far harder.
At this point in time, it really doesn't matter whether you give up, 2 or 5. You still lose.
Yeah.
You have to get a rock into a position here that Kerri can't get it out. That is a ridiculously tough shot. She's looking at playing the hit on the shot stone, trying to roll all the way across. Where they're looking to put this, they'd still be second shot. Now, it's still better than what it is. If you bury this for second, it still presents a problem for Kerri. Where do you put the next stone? Can't leave a double. She's got the hit and roll under on the yellow stone that's there now.
I don't know why you'd go there, though, myself. I think
it's a setup. Like, you get second, it cuts out the 3 on the right-hand side as we look at the overhead. Where does Kerri go with the next one? Because she's still got the hit and roll under. Like, if you put this stone where she's got the broom, now you hit shot rock on your next one and roll under the guard, you're dead buried in the 4-foot. So it takes away those 3 on the side, and Kerri still has to figure out where she's going to get her second point, and knowing that there's hit and roll available on the open stone. And I'm not sure where Kerri goes with the next one. She could just go around the corner guard and let her try to make that hit and roll. If she doesn't make it, she's going to have a shot for her 2. She could peel the center guard.
Yeah. Yeah, which if she was only second shot is going to guarantee she's going to probably have a wide open hitter on the last one. She might have stayed, might be a double, but it might be definitely open.
Well, it probably changes the shot. If she comes around and you peel the center guard, she can't roll under. She probably has to hit on the nose, stay right there, and force Kerri to play. If she wants to play the double, she's going to have to play the slash double and risk losing the game.
Yeah. She'll be a little deeper than she wanted to be.
Well, if it's shot rock, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Changes the shot here a little bit for Kerri. She's going to have to make a play towards the middle now of some sort. Or the peel of the guard is still an option.
Yeah. Might be the option. That's a very good shot by Ha. Couldn't have thrown it any better, really.
Peel the guard, does Ha have to draw for her life? Guard for her life, pardon me?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. And Anderson will use her second time out. I think about it, the coaches are really close. just outside the door, outside the glass. 3 rocks to come here in the 8th end. It's been a tremendous game, really a tremendous game, a lot of fun. Really happy that so many people could take this one in. We have a great crowd watching and lots of interaction on the chat. So it's It's been good.
My thoughts are you're either peeling the guard or could you follow it down with the intern, and you don't have to move it very far before you would have a shot to come off the yellow with your last one. Like if you move it, you don't have to be shot. Move it 6 inches and you'd have the in off on the yellow. Ha can't really do much about that. I mean, she could peel it out, but if she nose hits it, it just makes the in off easier.
Yeah. Well, it looks like a decision's been made.
Gonna peel the guard, I think.
Yeah.
This is never wrong. You peel the guard, but part of it, they would have already discussed this too. If Ha makes the guard, if she makes the perfect guard on her last one, are you drawn for one or are you playing the angle run in? Because all you have to do is make that red go away.
Yeah. It certainly seems like the tendency these days is to go for the win in this end, and if you have any shot, not maybe almost, regardless how difficult, but anything that's reasonable to have a chance to make, you want to make it.
Well, and that run would be reasonable. Like it's close to half a rock, right? It's not an unusual piece of the stone to try to hit. It's not ridiculously thin or anything like that. Now, having said that, in order for that to still be an option, you can't double peel them here, which is a possibility. Catches the second red, but removes it from play, and that means those 3 on the side are still a factor.
Yeah, for sure. I actually thought she might peel it the other way, just because I worried there about it might run it onto the yellow.
Yeah.
This in the foot.
Too many jams on the other side. I think there's only 1 jam on that side.
Yeah.
Well, this is interesting. She doesn't want to throw the guard.
Well, I might not disagree with her all the time, but she just threw the come around to put that rock right there, so she should have a really good idea how to make a really good guard. And I just think it might be tough to put this rock in a perfect spot.
They're looking at coming around the corner too, but you've got to make sure your second shot.
Yeah. I think I like the little freeze that they were talking about first better than that one. One thing about this shot is that you might possibly be playing for the win if you play this shot, because Kerri would perhaps have a really tough time scoring 1. Well, it's definitely an interesting call.
Yeah, this is a tough shot. Just trying to decide if there's anything else she could play. I guess if she doesn't want to throw the guard, she could hit that Yellowstone and try to roll big to the other side of the 8-foot. It would leave an awkward angle for the double. It's still not the shot I'd want to be playing.
Yeah.
If she does make the corner freeze, I don't think Kerri's got a shot for 2, but she's got to absolutely lock it on the corner here.
Yeah, I would have went through a lot of shots in my mind before I thought of playing this one, for me anyways.
Well, one thing you could say in a lot of cases, as long as you make whatever shot you call, you won't be in very much trouble. If she makes what she's called here, she's actually dodged the bullet.
Yeah. So it's on its way. Sweepers aren't doing anything yet.
No, and this is unusual for them. They haven't touched this yet.
He does want to set up an easy double.
Well, she did.
Yeah, unfortunate. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if it was just a little too much weight to get it to curl enough, or it did look like a lot of broom to get all the way over to there.
This still has to be made. It's not a gimme. If Kerri's a little bit on the high side, she could jam this second stone. If she's a little on the low side, she could miss the second stone. These straight back ones like this are always a little harder than you give them credit for. But there's not a lot of separation between the two of them. That doesn't help.
No.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they swept it. If they don't separate them as much, it's hard to get this top red by the yellow.
Yeah, yeah,
exactly. They didn't need to bump it that big. A corner freeze on the red could have worked.
If you ever hit this a little bit on the outside, you might lose. So you got to be. So Kerri Einarson with a shot to win here in the 8th end. Out turn hit, playing a double. Certainly a shot that she's very familiar with.
Gonna have to go to hold the line. This is inside the nose.
And
move it just far enough.
Enough to move it far enough and score 2. So Kerri Einarson is the Saville Grand Prix champion for this year in a great curling game. That was a pleasure to watch that one, Shawn.
It was an outstanding game. A lot of good angles to look at, a lot of good shots, a lot of good strategy discussions. It made for an interesting game, and that was the case all day today. We had, at least I had 3 outstanding games through the quarters, the semis, and here in the final.
So on behalf of myself, Jim Nix, and Shawn, Joyce, and our production guys of who do we have in the production today? We had Tim Burton, and of course, as always, Jerry Gertz. So we're thrilled to be here. Thank you for joining us. A reminder to like and subscribe to our station on Curling Stadium, Edmonton, and we will see you again next weekend.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.